These new findings in Lancet Global Health, they show alarming rates of micronutrient deficiencies among women and children worldwide. So 1 out of 2 children under the age of 5 and 2 out of 3 women of reproductive age suffer from micronutrient deficiencies. And we know that recently the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change and wars have further increased the risks of these micronutrient deficiencies because they have made micronutrient-rich, nutritious foods more out of reach and more expensive. We also know that women and children are more vulnerable to micronutrient deficiencies because of social norms that limit their access to nutritious foods, and they often eat last and least, and because of the high demands during certain stages of life, such as during pregnancy and during adolescence. It's really important that we ensure adequate access to micronutrients during these critical stages in life for the health and well-being and the future of these women and children and of their communities that they live in and of the future of the world. Micronutrients are vitamins and minerals that have major functions in the human body for growth and development. While we need them only in tiny amounts, deficiencies of micronutrients can have these dire consequences that can last lifelong and that can be carried over to the next generation. Micronutrient deficiencies during pregnancy can result in adverse pregnancy outcomes, so babies that are born with low birth weight, or even can increase the risk for maternal mortality if severe enough. And it can increase the risk of chronic diseases later in life. And micronutrient deficiencies in early childhood can affect brain development and cognitive development, and it can therefore increase the risk of poorer school performance later in life and of lower adult economic productivity. And micronutrient deficiencies such as vitamin A and zinc, they play an important role in the immune response, so they can also make individuals more susceptible to infectious diseases. Micronutrient deficiencies really affect all countries in the world. The research found that even in high-income countries, micronutrient deficiencies are prevalent. So in the US, 1 out of 3 women of reproductive age, and in the UK, 1 out of 2 women of reproductive age are micronutrient deficient. As an individual, you can make sure to consume sufficient micronutrient-rich foods, and these are foods such as animal source foods, so meat, dairy, eggs, fish, but also fruits and vegetables, particularly red fruits and vegetables, and dark leafy green vegetables, lentils and pulses. And as a society, we have to make sure that these foods are affordable and accessible, particularly for those that need it most. And this can be done through a combination of interventions across the food systems and the health systems. We can ensure that social protection programs are in place, that the policies are in place that makes these foods more affordable. We can invest more in the development of climate resilient, nutritious crops. If we do not address these issues, the economic consequences at societal level can be enormous because of the impact that these micronutrient deficiencies have on later economic productivity of individuals. So it can even affect the GDP of countries. The solutions to end micronutrient deficiencies are among the most cost-effective that we have at hand. So for every dollar that we invest in micronutrient deficiencies, it can on average, in some countries, result in $35 on return on investment. So it is really within our reach. And by doing so, we will improve the resilience of individuals and of communities and of society so that we can better cope with future shocks.